I'm Jim from Come Play With Us, and in this video I'm going to be reviewing Unstoppable, a new solo co-op solo or two-player co-op game from the Solo Hero series. This one's by John D. Clare, and it uses his card crafting system. Now, as usual, I'm not going to do a full overview of this game. I've done a playthrough on my channel. I'll link to it down in the show notes below. So let's start by talking about the components of this game. So if you're familiar with John D. Clare's card crafting system, it is a little different in this game. So it still works where you get the sleeves and the different cards, but instead of using the kind of clear transparency type cards, you're going to get these cards that kind of have this section cut out on them, and then the upgrades will fill those in. And then, unlike his other card crafting games where you get the you can level up a card 3 times, in this one you can only level it up twice. So that's a slight difference from the other card crafting games. Probably brings the price point down because you don't have to have those acrylic cards. These are just regular cards. And the card quality for this is pretty nice. I mean, you're getting the sleeves with it, so they're going to be sleeved anyways. But yeah, the card quality is pretty good. So no complaints there. They do slot together pretty nice. They have little tabs. The upgrades have little tabs at the top to make them easier to unsleeve after the game and resort things. So that's pretty nice. All in all, it's pretty easy to set up and turn down. The other components, again, in this game, you get some nice wooden action discs. Player board. This one's, it's not dual layer, it's just a regular player board. It's on kind of like a thick card stock, and then you get the boss mats, which are also on a nice thick card stock. You get the rule book's pretty good. I didn't have any problems with the rules. I don't have to look through here too often. It's got everything you need. It's got appendix in the back. Everything a good icon reference, all that kind of thing. And then you also get a nice reference sheet for all the different icons and the different keywords. So that's good. You keep that on the table. The one weird thing is you get this storybook. And so when I first started looking at this, I'm like, oh, is there a campaign or anything like that? No, it's just a storybook. It just gives you a backstory for the kind of world that you're in. So if for me, it's kind of useless. I'm not gonna really, I haven't read it, so I can't tell you how good the writing is in this. But yeah, I thought that was kind of strange. I know they had the storybooks in some of the other ones. I know Warp's Edge had one. You could do a choose your own adventure kind of thing. I didn't think it was that great in that game. I haven't read this one, but I don't really see a reason to. There's no game effects from this. It's just backstory. You are going to get 3 different bosses in this game. So they have this easy one, the Harbinger, and then you get the Triumvirate and the Duomo's Menace. And then they kind of get harder. Well, I'm not going to say they get harder. They get a little bit more complex. There's like different mechanics with each one, but I wouldn't say one's harder than the other. They just do different things. Okay, so that's pretty much all I want to say about the components. Let's talk a little bit about the mechanics of this one. There's a lot of interesting things in here. This is the first card crafting game I've tried, and I do find it really interesting leveling up the different cards. So I like that card crafting mechanic. I love deck building, and this is just kind of a bit of a twist on that. And I'm finding I really enjoy that, just figuring out which combinations of upgrades to put on the cards. And you're also kind of deck building because you're adding a new card to your deck every round, and then you can call. So it's a combination deck building, small deck building, and card crafting. I really enjoyed that. So those mechanics are really cool. The other really neat thing about this is you don't get to draw cards from your deck. So your deck, there's 2 sides to your deck. There's the sides that you use, that have your cards with their abilities and stuff like that you play to do various things. But also on the back are the enemies. And so instead of your draw deck is actually the enemy deck. And as the enemies will come out every round, And the only way to draw cards back into your hand is to defeat the enemies. So when you defeat the enemies, they come into your hand, and that's how you get cards back in your hand. So that's very tricky. It's a really cool mechanic. I think it's very interesting. But yeah, you can get into trouble if you play out too many of your cards, and you have some enemies. You have no cards in your hand at the beginning of the next round, and you get some enemies. You do get to draft a new card at the beginning of every round, but you got to make sure whatever card you draft, you can defeat one of the enemies in play, or you're just going to take damage because there's no other way of getting cards back in your hand. So that's a really neat interplay there. Little mechanics, the strategy that you got to have is like, oh, I got to make sure, I don't want to overplay my cards. I got to make sure I have some damage dealing cards left so I can take out some enemies, so I can get some more cards in my hand and stay in play. Otherwise, I'm going to take a whole bunch of damage. So I really like that. The other twist with that, because the enemies are your deck, also as you upgrade your cards, you're also upgrading the enemies on the back and adding new abilities and things like that. It does tell you on the cards on the bottom here what the like how you'll be upgrading the enemy when you upgrade it. So you can look at both things, like, okay, this is going to give this card that, but the enemy on the back is going to get this ability. So that's another little wrinkle that you got to look at when you're playing this game and planning your strategy and stuff. The three bosses are very interesting. So the Harbinger is the simplest. The Harbinger and the Tram, but they both come with their own deck of enemies, and basically the only way to damage these bosses is to defeat their enemies. Every time you defeat one of their special enemies, you can put a damage on the boss. So that's how you defeat these bosses. You can't attack them directly. The Harbinger is just very simple, that it just works with that mechanic. But the Triumvirate adds in some buildings that are in play that you can attack. Otherwise, it's very similar to the Harbinger. And then you have this third one, which is my favorite, Duomo's Menace. He's really interesting. He comes with a full deck of cards here. He doesn't have his own enemy type that comes with him. But he has the way this deck works is basically a choose your own adventure. So each card will have a trigger of when you can get past that card, and then you'll have choices to make. So if you get past this card, this next card will say, to get past this one, you can either damage it or bribe it, pay money to it. So that's really cool. I really enjoy this boss. The only problem is going to be, of course, replayability. I mean, it's not that you can't replay the boss. There is multiple endings, but you're gonna eventually get to know how to get to each ending. But I think they'll still be fun when you're playing it, because it just presents you a different way of getting through the boss. You can go full fight, or you can go use your credits and stuff like that. So it lets you flex different aspects of the game. So this boss is really cool. These ones are fun too, but I really like this one with the choose your own adventure deck. Okay, so that's all I want to talk about for the mechanics. So let's get into the things I don't like about this game. There's not much that I can pick at this, and maybe replayability. I mean, there is a lot of replayability, because with the card crafting system, you can make your cards any way you want. The only thing is there's only 3 bosses in here, and this third boss, even though I love this choose your own adventure thing, I think that might wear thin after a few plays, because you'll know the paths. So that's the only kind of thing I could say maybe is a downside to this game. Otherwise, I don't really find any other thing. You can get caught. This is where you have to be really careful. I've had some games end quickly where, like I said, if you don't pay attention to, or you burn your cards too fast, or you don't draw the right cards that do damage, that can damage things, you can get quickly into a state where you can't draw up any cards, and you're kind of finished. So that's probably the weakest part of this game. And then it can just happen with a bad card draw, that you just don't have the right card mix, or you don't draw the right cards, or you're just not doing enough damage to draw enough cards up to keep yourself going. So, but that only happened in one of my plays so far, and I probably was playing really bad. But yeah, that is something, like I said, you have to watch for. But this is a short game, so you can just shovel it back up and play again. That's the biggest negative I have for this game. What do I like about this game? Whoa, there's lots to love about this game. If you're a solo fan, I would say this one's almost a required game. If you've played Warp's Edge, you might like this. This has some similar mechanics with Warp's Edge, but I think I like this better than Warp's Edge because there's just so much more to think of. In Warp's Edge, you're just kind of doing bag building, but this one gives you the combo of the deck building and the card crafting. And the card crafting is just so much fun. Just how to pair the abilities, all the tons of little different strategies you can go for that presents. I forgot to mention there is 4 different characters you can play, and they come with their own. They each have 3 unique cards related to them, so that they have a little bit of a different starting hand starting deck that they start with, and so that's interesting to play those 4 different characters. So yeah, there's just so much in here to explore. The other thing that you can do is like once you get good at this, I guess there are several difficulty levels that you can increase the level of the game. And how that works is you have the couple of ways that the game can end. I mean, obviously you can lose all your health. The other way is if this boss track gets to the end. And so how the difficulty scales is there's color codes on the squares, and so if you're playing in different difficulties, this boss tracker will just move up faster, and you'll have less time to defeat the boss before the time runs out. So that's a cool way of scaling the game, making you basically it's making you be more efficient with your actions and not giving you as much time to take down the boss. So really cool. And then you can also this one's a little unique in the Solo series, I think, because you can play this one 2-player co-op as well. I have not tried it 2-player co-op. The rules are pretty much the same, but you're just kind of playing together, and you can hit each other's monsters or enemies that are attacking you. But you do not, if you take out the other player's card for them, you do not draw that card. You do get the reward if it has it on there, but you do not draw that card. You're just kind of helping them out, and otherwise it's pretty much the same. That's the only kind of unique thing about that. So so that it looks interesting. I might try that at some point, but I mostly bought this for a solo game. It is part of the Solo series. And I really really did want to try one of these card crafting games, and it's a great mechanic. And the only downside of it is having to unsleeve all the cards at the end, but like I said, they make it really easy in this one with the way they've made the cards. So overall, what's my score? Overall, I'm giving this game a 9. I really love it. This game is a lot of fun. If you like games, kind of combo games where you get to build. You're not building a tableau in this. Instead, you're crafting the cards. But if you like that kind of thing, and being able to explore, combinations of skills and stuff like that, I think you're gonna really love this one. If you liked Warp's Edge, you should give this one a try, because this has some similar things to this. I think this one's a bit better than Warp's Edge. I mean, I really love Warp's Edge too, but I think I like the card crafting in here better than the bag building. So yeah, just a great game overall. As usual, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.